A team of researchers from the Public Health Research Unit of the CHUL Research Center and its main researcher, Dr. Éric Dewailly, want to ask your help with a second study today entitled the International Inuit Study. It is a different project, but if you accept to participate in this one, it will only require 2 additional tests related to your heart health and other blood analysis. Here is a description of the International Inuit Study and what it expects from you. The International Inuit Study. The study lies within the framework of a circumpolar cohort study that will be conducted among Inuit populations of 3 countries: Alaska, Canada, and Greenland. A cohort study is a study in which a great number of persons are followed up during several years. The general aim of this study is to examine the significance of the environment, diet, and living conditions for the development of chronic diseases among the Inuit populations. Hence, this great study will permit to document the rates of cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and cancers among Inuit with various environmental factors causing or potentially associated to these diseases. Such a study is needed to support health promotion initiatives in northern regions in order to prevent the rise of chronic diseases and their risk factors. Moreover, in order to examine the significance of the environment, diet, and living conditions for the development of chronic diseases such as cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and cancer, we believe that the establishment of a cohort study among Inuit populations will help to understand the emergence of these diseases and their related risk factors. What you will be asked to do as a participant in the International Inuit Study. Every 7 years, the information on potential risk factors, the identification of newly diagnosed cases of heart disease, cancers, and diabetes will be updated. For that, every 7 years, including the current year, your medical record will be consulted by a nurse in order to verify if you have these diseases. Notice that your eligibility to participate in this study depends on the absence of these diseases. A research nurse will communicate with you for the follow-up procedures. A follow-up questionnaire will be administered by the nurse and will include questions about medical history, lifestyle, and diet. Measurements of your weight, waist, and blood pressure will also be done. This part will last approximately 1 hour. Blood analysis and measurements related to the International Inuit Study. If you agree to participate in the International Inuit Study, an additional blood sample, approximately 20 milliliters or 1.5 tablespoons, will be taken. The following analyses will be done: markers of heart disease, apolipoproteins, markers of inflammation and oxidation, etc., diabetes, cancer, effects of contaminants on cells, and protective dietary factors such as vitamins A, C, and E. Remaining blood samples will be stored for 15 years in minus 80 degrees Celsius freezers located at the Public Health Research Unit, Centre Hospitalier Universitaire de Québec in Sainte-Foy, Québec. These blood samples will be under the responsibility of Dr. Éric Dewailly. Blood vials will only be identified by a number and your name will not appear on any of them. These blood samples will not be used by any other agency, neither for commercial use, by the pharmaceutical industry, nor by insurance companies or employers. If further blood analyses are required, such as markers of other diseases, your consent will have to be obtained again in 7 years. Finally, for the present study, persons aged 40 years and over will have 2 additional physical tests related to heart disease. The first test will permit to measure your heart rate variability using a 2-hour Holter recording. Holter is a small portable monitor or box attached to the chest with electrodes. The second test will permit to image by ultrasound your neck artery named carotid. This image will give information on your atherosclerosis status. Atherosclerosis is the thickening by fat deposit and hardening of arteries. Benefits. In order to prevent heart disease, the present study will allow us to verify your heart rate and atherosclerosis status. If we observe abnormal levels of these parameters, you will be advised by letter to consult a medical representative at your local health center. By participating in this survey, it will give you the opportunity to take part in an international study among Inuit populations across the circumpolar Arctic and to document the health status of Inuit populations as a whole. Moreover, everybody agrees that it is very difficult to find a solution for a disease when we do not know the cause. Hence, if we can show that a disease has a lifestyle or environmental origin, the medical world could make great progress in the understanding and prevention of this disease. Risks. It is not expected that your being part of this study will harm you. Physical tests such as heart rate and ultrasound imaging of carotid will be done by a nurse and are not painful. When you give the blood sample, you may develop a light bruise where the sample is taken. Finally, you may feel tired after answering the questionnaires. No information will be given to outsiders, and your private life will always be respected. All information collected in this study will be kept confidential. Information will be used only for statistical purposes in combination with answers from other households across Nunavik that are participating in this survey. Your questionnaires and blood samples will only be identified with a number. Your name will not appear on any of them. Your name will only be on a master identification sheet that links your name to each of these numbers. These master sheets that will allow us to contact you once again in 7 years will be kept in a locked file at the Unité de recherche en santé publique du CHUL. Moreover, only designated people at the Unité de recherche en santé publique du CHUL, for example, Dr. Eric DeWhaley, and a designated registered nurse will have access to these master sheets. Your name will not appear on any publication or report. Moreover, no personal blood analysis results will be published. Furthermore, as the present study involves Inuit of 3 countries, it is expected that the results published will emphasize the specificity of Inuit populations. Withdrawing from the study. Your participation in this study is of great importance and on a voluntary basis. Your permission is being asked to participate in the international Inuit study that will involve your collaboration every 7 years. You are free to withdraw from the study at any time without any ill effect to yourself. Even after you have agreed to participate in the study, you can decide you do not want to continue. To withdraw from the study, please talk to Suzanne Côté, the field coordinator, or to one of the medical staff people. At any time during the survey, you are welcome to call the nurse, Ms. Suzanne Côté, or the leader of the study, Dr. Eric DeWhaley, to get more information about the study, to make any comments about the survey, or to withdraw from the study. Please call Ms. Suzanne Côté at 418-650-5115, extension 5277, or Dr. Eric DeWhaley at 418-650-5115, extension 5240 in Quebec. If you have any complaints, feel free to call Jeannie May in Kuujjuaq at 819-964-2222.